what's up everybody? Sharif here from SS Customs, aka Alpha Rapper on all social networks, but hitting you guys up here today because a lot of you guys follow my other YouTube channel, SS Customs, as well as their social. So this one right here is more of a personal blog to give you guys a little bit of insight on what I do, more so on business, personal stuff, my personal rides, cars, things like that. Give you a little bit more behind the scenes access of what it takes to do SS Customs full time and all the other aspects of my life. So without further ado, I'm going to get into my personal rides so you guys can see a little bit about what my passion was that got me to customizing cars. It wasn't for the money. I didn't do it because it was this, that, and the other. Although I have, entrepreneurship bone in my body, it was definitely revolved around my passion of loving cars and eclectic types of cars. So I will walk you through some of my cars and show you what I've currently owned and why I bought them, maybe give you some stats on it. All right. First up is, this is a 2005 Noble M400s, the model. Noble is the brand. So you're looking at this car when it came out. This is my second one. First one I bought in 2009, and that was a 2006 model. This one is a 2005 model. Very hard to get in California because these are registered as an SB100. Too small of a company to do crash testing and dot approval and all the other stuff. So they used a different law to get it in at that time, which is now much harder to do. But at any rate, it's fully roll cage. It's got a 3-liter twin turbo Ford Duratec motor in the rear that comes shipped from Roush. So essentially these cars come fully pre-assembled. The plant was South Africa where they made them, prototyping, whatever have you. But at any rate, this is about 2,300 pounds, 425 horsepower stock. I think 0 to 60 was around 3.2, quarter mile 11.4 back then. This one's been worked over by Turbo Hoses in Livermore, world renowned for Noble performance. And it's got about 520 horsepower. So I don't even know what the new numbers would be on this car, but when it came out, it was a force to be reckoned with. Same specs as a Ferrari Enzo, same era that it came out in terms of performance wise, for, a pretty good sprint. And overall, absolutely amazing car to drive. Nothing drives like it. It's purely visceral, and it's an animal. It's like trying to hold this thing back on the road it's really, really fun. Anyways, that's the quick story with that one. This one right here is a car that I got for my lady. This is a 2018 Stelvio Quadrifoglio. This one is absolutely amazingly spec'd. Underneath it's pearl white. Oh, by the way, this one is wrapped in a KPMF gloss purple black iridescent with carbon fiber wing, and it's got yellow accents, gray accents, some other carbon bits and accents. If you look really close inside these gills, it is a red car underneath all the wrap. It's like a Monza red or whatever they called it. Calipers were painted yellow by the previous owner. Dimag carbon fiber wheels. These are really, really rare. They only made a few sets of them for these cars, but I was able to be lucky to get one snagged when this car was sold to me. This one right here is wrapped in another KPMF color. It's like their ultra matte series. I forget what it's called, but it's a dynamic teal, if I'm not mistaken. And this car is absolutely insane in color. I don't even know if the camera can pick it up properly, but because it looks more bluish on my screen, but it's more of a teal in real life with the white stripes. And that one I took from a Ferrari Scuderia design that I've done for other Ferraris in the past. And then this one comes stock with carbon ceramic brakes, stock with the interior might be dirty, but let's see. Yeah, so the full carbon seat backs, and pretty much all the options you would want. I don't even think they come with carbon ceramics anymore in the newer cars, but this car drives, shouldn't even drive this way. This SUV drives more like a performance sports car. Super nimble and absolute blast to drive. But yeah, those two. This right here is my old faithful 1969 Datsun 510. This car, I bought this car and I drove it to work every day as my first car when I started my brick and mortar for SS Customs. I think it was 2011. The brand started in 2005, but this car is still running today, still drive it often. Beautiful car. It's gone through some upgrades, radiator, whatnot, bigger brakes. It's got a Willwood kit on the front, gears in the rear, rebuilt transmission, a bunch of things just to make sure this thing keeps running and driving well. This car has soul, character, pretty much everything you could think of. And I mean, this car is as period correct as it could be. It's a little beat up in here, but that's what I like. I like driving it, smelling it for what it is. And but every single thing works on this car, which is pretty awesome. And still closes amazingly. Paint is original as well, except for I think 2 panels that were repainted on that. Just realized I did not open this one up for you. So this is the interior on here. Pretty straightforward. It's fully roll caged, which is part of the factory setup that these cars come with. And interior wise, it's fairly stock, but it is an absolute blast to drive. So this car has, again, tons of upgrades, upgraded shifts, linkage system, and I can go on and on about the mods on this car, but it's probably one of the most fun cars to drive. This right here is kind of like my daily, and it's pretty much immaculate, man. In terms of when I bought it, it was about 25,000 miles when I bought it. It's wrapped, so it's okay to beat up the outside. It gets dirty. It's my daily. But this right here, ultimate rare CTSV Wagon, last year made, 2014. It is not a manual. It is an automatic. So it's easy for anybody to hop in. One of my employees, my lady, whoever wants to drive it. But I kind of regret this one. I do wish I bought this one in a manual, but it's optioned really, really well. It's actually the dark gray metallic paint underneath. It is currently running on some Vorsteiner VVF 103s, custom powder coated. We did it in a gold bronze, wrapped in a matte purple black iridescent to match the Noble over there. And it's got other goodies, chrome delete, carbon accents here and there. The wrap's been on for several years now, and it is a little dirty as I drive it every day, but beautiful car nonetheless. Absolutely aggressive shape. One of the most sexiest wagons in my opinion. I've owned an E63 wagon in the past. I love the RS6 Avant. And if I was to pick something newer, it would probably be that. Let me see if there's something else I'm missing here or there, but I think we should be solid. This right here is probably the most fun car I own. Z28, naturally aspirated. 7-liter, 427, super rare. This is basically a track car that you can buy and drive essentially every day. So what makes this car unique, and every car that I have here unique, is I like buying cars that are a little offbeat and or rare, or I feel like will have some type of value as they gain. The Noble M400, well, actually, you know what? I'll get into that conversation at the end. I'll go back through all these cars and I'll tell you why I bought them, okay? It's more for a specific reason, so just wait for that. But for now, this one is a Z28, 2-year production car, and is absolutely beautiful. And it's got a lot of motor for the car, very linear power band, drives absolutely awesome. It is a little dirty again, damn near slicks on there. 305s all around, and it is a force to be reckoned with in terms of power. Let's see what we're looking at. 305 on the tire. And on the road, I think these do about 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Pretty capable, but it just grips, man, going around corners. Camaros never inherently have ever driven like this from all the Camaros I've driven and owned, but this one is just next level, man. And it's definitely the most fun because it gets the most loose, and it's the most I have to spend time controlling. These are a little bit more the OGs in the garage. This one right here is 1964 Impala SS. It's super special because it is a project I'm doing with my dad, and we're both working on it together. This one, again, I'll go back to why I bought this car again. But again, Beautiful car, red. This one is a 1991 GMC Syclone. Also super cool, 1-year production truck, powered by single turbo setup, which was very unique for this truck and the period it was in, especially since it was a 1-year production ride. And it was the legend of all legends, and I'll explain that towards the end of this video when I walk through all these cars one more time and give you quick stats to tell you why I bought them. This one right here, 1987 Buick Grand National, super sexy, gangster. I don't know what else to tell you. This car has a lot of presence when I drive it around. Very clean, original paint. I think I'm the 3rd owner. Super clean interior. As you can see, the interior is very clean. This one's built, was originally built by Stevie in terms of motor being blueprinted and everything else, but this car has also been fully reworked through Felony, bigger turbo, a bunch of other things that we did on the setup side. But it is a beast. It should be, I mean, when I bought it, it was around 430 horsepower, so at the wheels. So now it's considerably faster. I haven't dynoed it since Felony Motorsports worked on it, but very fun car to drive. And yeah, so this car, work-wise, what did I do to it? Full body PPF, paint protection film done at our company at SS Customs. Again, started that brand in 2005, and it's based in Redwood City, California. Super fun project to work on this one because we did a full hand-tailored PPF install on this car. This one right here was a full paint correction a couple years back with ceramic coating. Same thing on this one, full paint correction, ceramic coating, plus Felony Motorsports did a bunch of motor work on this car, transmission, rear end, drive shaft, all kinds of stuff. So this car is pretty solid. I'll probably send this one over to them next. Shout out to those boys. This one right here, Z28, it's just got a new starter essentially. Did a custom exhaust setup, and it's fully wrapped in a KPMF red black iridescent with some gloss black accents. And so this car, everybody always compliments on this color. They're like, wow, I didn't know they make it. It's super rare, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually a vinyl wrap. Just is what we do at the shop. I already went over this one and kind of the mods. This one, I kind of went over the mods. This one, I told you. Oh, it's also, this one also has a 2B exhaust with the black tips. So I did a full catback system on this one and lowered it on H&R Sports Springs. And that's why it sits, because usually these have a much gap in the arches, and so now it looks a lot better. We did some carbon side mirrors. There's not much more you need to do to this car. I think I'm going to buy a couple other aero accessories here and there, and maybe a tune, and call it done. And but that's pretty much what we did at the shop. And this one is got a host of things, obviously the wrap, the wheels, and a bunch of performance like I went to. Further ado, let me talk to you about why I bought these cars, because that's very important. I don't usually spend money like I used to. All these cars are pretty much good in my book in terms of buying, and I'll tell you why exactly right now. So let's get into this. Again, Noble M400. Why did I buy it? It is only a few years in production. Only 220 were made for the United States. The M400 has a very limited supply of model units built. There's 3 models in this body style: M12, M12 GTO 3R, and then the M400. M400 was the highest mark to buy, and which is what I really wanted. In California, very hard to come by this car because you need to do a whole process to get it under SB 100. This car is registered as such, so there's no smog required to own this car. I can drive it pretty much without smogging it and just take care of it. So in my books, that makes this an ultra rare car, especially since there's only 220 Nobles in existence in the United States, and some of them don't exist anymore because of accidents or shipping out of state or whatever it was, or out of the United States. This one, very rare because of the options. It is a 2018 model, so one of the first years for the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. And this one has carbon ceramic brakes, like I mentioned. This one has a carbon fiber seat backs, which I showed you. So, and it's underneath, it is a pearl white. So this car, when it's all said and done, is an absolutely beautiful car. just out of its own right when you buy it from the factory, and this option with all the things you would want: the color, the brakes, the carbon seat backs, everything is like option to the T. So in my opinion, and this car when it came out was the fastest car around the Nürburgring in terms of an SUV. So it held the record for a short time before the GLC 63 took it from it. But it beat the original GLC 63 and took its title. This one right here, in terms of the spec, power, everything else, it was pretty much untouchable at its price range for a very, very long time. 0 to 60, again, like I said, in 3.2, 11.4 mile. This is probably a 10-second car now. Datsun, what's not to like about a Datsun? I mean, the Datsun 510 is the probably pinnacle of Datsun models that people want. This is a sedan, but it drives absolutely amazing. It's super nimble, and it's just got tons of character. You drive this car, you get pulled back in time, and it's just old school Japanese muscle car, stylish, feels good, man. CTSV Wagon, one of the rarest performance wagons ever made in history. 2014 was the last year of production, and this is ultimately going to be it is already a collectible. People are trying to get it. People are trying to get this car as a collectible. This car, in my books, will become something sought after in the future. And the Noble is just, it speaks for itself. When more and more people start to know about the car, and the more time passes, the more it just needs one major interview piece on that car for the Noble, and it's done. But the Cadillac, everybody's reviewed this car, and everybody wants one, a well, non-abused one, and this one is pretty much stock minus the exhaust. So I tend to keep it that way, and it's super reliable. Z28, the badass right here. This car is a track beast. This has been on the track twice already. This car performs exceptionally well. This one is the, again, 7-liter 427, the only Camaro to ever have a 427 or that size of a motor basically smashed into it. Not the highest horsepower Camaro ever made, obviously the ZL1 1LE, ZL1, and others, but at 505 horsepower, this is the largest motor in a production setup that they've ever put in to a Camaro before, and I don't think they'll ever do it again. So it is going to be 100% a major collectible as time goes on. And what was used to build this car in terms of technology, with the carbon ceramic brakes and all the styling cues and everything else that's going on, the carbon fiber hood inserts, and just overall beautiful wheels, basically 11-inch wide wheels all around in the 19s. Manual transmission, super bare bones. In the trunk, there's essentially nothing in there. It's all just gutted. So this car was pretty much came with a few options. I believe it was four of the two options, AC and radio. Like, those are the only two things you could add. Other than that, it came like this. And I mean, there's just something about this car when you drive on the road. People know it's different. They look at it, they're like, why does this Camaro look so much better than the other ones? And there's, rightfully so. The stance is different. It's wide bodied. It's just the aero setup is different. Everything is different on this car, and it's just beautiful. This one right here, father and son project, super in love with this one. It's getting better and better as time goes on. Why did I buy this car for my dad, or buy it with him and get him excited about it? Was because of that. So this is a very rare setup. It is a 1964 Impala SS. Everybody knows what that is, so everybody loves that year of Impala SS as well as some others. But why did I buy this one? Well, it's red. It's what my dad wanted. It's a convertible, so that makes it rare. So you have a red Impala SS convertible with a white top, all factory spec. It's got a 409 motor. That's the largest motor you can get in it. Super rare. Coupled with an automatic transmission, also rare combination of those two. And
just overall, when you add all those things together, red car, white top, convertible, SS Impala, 409 motor, automatic, it just ticks every single box to make it one of the most sought after configurations of the Impala SS and the 64. This one right here, 1 year production, GMC Syclone, made one in 1991, held a record for 30 years as the fastest production truck ever made, and until it just recently got beat. But that gives you an idea of what it is. Car's about 30,000 miles. I bought it with 27,000. I drive it from time to time. It accelerates exceptionally well for its age, and it is definitely going to be an all-time collector car. And last but not least, the 1987 Buick Grand National, legend in its own right. Darth Vader was used for the ads on this car. Huge fan base, very OG gangster vibe. I mean, what's not to love about this car? Its silhouette and what it represented. This car was the fastest production car in America in 1987, or the quickest production car. And you also, the GNX version of this, which is limited to 547 units, that was the fastest production or the quickest production car in the world for that year. And that one was, correct me if I'm wrong there, but those stats are what made this car. And that was developed with ASC McLaren. So McLaren and Buick got together and made a car, which was a GNX. And that in itself tells you what kind of crazy times it was back in the 80s and what people, what was going on with different automotive manufacturers and the respect they had for each other, as well as the collaborations they did, which I don't think today you're ever going to see Buick and McLaren get together and develop things like this, where GMC can make the fastest production, the quickest production vehicle in 1991, and it ended up being a truck, and it beat a Ferrari, and was put on the front cover. I believe it was one of the big automotive magazines, I forget. There's so much information I have to memorize with all the cars that I like. It's hard to remember everything, but overall, that is the quick and dirty of why I bought all these cars. All of them rare, all of them have value to me, as well as value to many other collectors, whether they are in the future or whether they are collectibles today. That is why I do what I do. I love cars, and this is my current collection, and we will see how things change in terms of collection over time, but I'll keep you guys posted. And like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what was your favorite ride out of this, what you didn't like, what you did like, what you appreciate. To each their own, and I'm going to keep on collecting these things like Hot Wheels. And follow our journey at SS Customs. You'll see all the crazy things we get into, antics, builds, and all the other fun stuff that we get to do for work, pretty much. So thanks for checking this out, and peace and blessings. Deuces.